Yeah, she won't bite you.
Maybe she will.
Folks, if anybody wants to speak tonight, there are a couple of times, please, sign up on the sheet, if you don't mind. So everybody knows.
Jim back.
You got a good seat?
Right.
radios off. I don't see him.
He's got nothing to do.
Wow. How long has it been? It's been a long while since that happened. And he usually to show up anyway.
So, does anybody else would like to sign in, to speak up on the comment? Everybody's on here that wants to speak. We also have some agendas, if anybody needs them. Yes, not comment. If anybody else wants to speak a public comment, you have to sign up. Anybody that's just walking, you guys can just sign up.
Evening, we'll call this meeting to order. Before we begin, I would ask anyone with a cell phone, please put it on silent. Thank you very much. Invocation by Commissioner Kaczynski, followed by our pledge of allegiance by Commissioner Gleason. Commissioner Kaczynski.
Thank you. Pray with me if you can, will. Dear Lord, please be with us tonight. You brought us here safely. Let us go home safely. Let us help to understand and support those who are in need of our prayers, the sick, the suffering, and anyone who needs the hand of God on their shoulder. Please help us to make the best decisions for all the citizens of Creedmoor and help us all return home safely tonight. In your name we pray. Amen.
Flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, will you have the roll call, please?
Commissioner Gleason.
Here.
Commissioner Lay.
Present.
Commissioner Kaczynski.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Wilkins.
Here.
We are missing Mayor Downey and Commissioner Moss.
Commissioner Moss has an excused absence, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I entertain the approval on the agenda. Any adjustments to it? Make a motion that we add on the request to address the board 6B
Okay.
regarding Mayor Downey.
All right, any other adjustments?
I would like to remove item 5B and place it under 10B, please.
Okay. Well, can I get your reason, Commissioner, if you don't mind?
Yes, sir. I haven't received any notification from him to be excused directly, and it wasn't properly brought up to the board as we have done with each other in the past.
Madam City Clerk, we didn't alert everybody? Did you receive that email?
I received an email from the mayor asking to excuse for the next meeting.
All right, that's fine. 10B. Anything else?
I have one. I would like to remove the minutes from the retreat, from the consent agenda at this time. There's, something I want to review before we approve it, if that's
Put
okay.
down to 10C. All right, Mark, anything else? I entertain a motion to approve the agenda. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Carries 4-0.
Move down to
Number 6,
request to address the board.
We moved everything from the consent agenda down.
Some minutes from
yes. All right, that's correct. I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, now we'll move down to 6. We have a few people, but before we call for addressing the board or public comments, I want a statement I'd like to read. The city of Creedmoor is aware of public calls for the removal of Mayor Downey from office. The city understands that members of the community have strong views regarding the matter and appreciates the public's engagement and desire to hold elected officials accountable. Under North Carolina law, local governments, including the city of Creedmoor, only have the powers and authority granted to them by the North Carolina General Assembly. To act outside of that authority granted by state law would violate the rule of law the city is obligated to uphold. North Carolina law provides only limited authority for the removal of an elected official, and any other process must protect the official's due process rights. The city will continue to evaluate the facts and circumstances involved in this matter, and the Board of Commissioners will take whatever action the board deems appropriate and in the city's best interest. The city will only take action that is within the bounds of its legal authority and will follow the processes established by North Carolina law. City operations will continue as normal, and the city remains committed to serving residents with professionalism and transparency. We encourage residents to remain engaged, informed, and respectful as this matter proceeds. And before we get to public comments, I also want to say the following. Before we begin public comments, I would like to briefly review the board's procedures for this portion of the meeting. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to address the board. The city clerk will provide a 15-second reminder before your time expires so that you may conclude your remarks. The board does not and will not respond or answer any comments given. We recognize that some of the matters before us are sensitive and important to members of our community, and we welcome your participation. At the same time, we ask that all comments be made respectfully and in keeping with proper decorum. Personal attacks directed towards any board member, whether present tonight or not, will not be permitted. As you come forward to speak, please state your name and address for the record before beginning your comments. We appreciate your cooperation and your willingness to participate in the public process. Thank you. At this time, we have no one to address the board. We only have public comment.
Well, we have 60, nobody to address. So we have 60.
Okay. Commissioner, please.
I ask the board's permission, could I do my report after public comments?
You can. So we're gonna make that 7A, 7B. All right, we'll go ahead now to, public comments. Just to remind you, will be timed by the city clerk. I have Mr. Jacob Moore.
Needed? We on? Jacob Moore, 3587 Copper Creek Lane, Franklinton.
Thank you.
Let me start by saying from day one, I've asked for prayers regarding the unfortunate situation with Mayor Downey. Tonight, I'm speaking up due to the public inquiry and outcry. I believe it is apparent that a great number of citizens, both in town and outside the community, are dismayed over the reports and have lost confidence in this city's leadership. We all feel the want for Creedmoor to continue and to succeed. And I will always push and advocate for the betterment of my hometown. I will gladly endure the name-calling, the slander, and the jeers as long as Muletown, our beloved city, triumphs. As for the second issue present in our community, let's just state the facts. The proposed ordinance by Commissioner Moss is divisive and unlawful. The ordinance is a violation of the Supremacy Clause of the U.S. Constitution, which states that the Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the United States, shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary, notwithstanding. In layman's terms, a municipality has no jurisdiction over federal law or federal agencies. If this proposed ordinance is adopted, it is without doubt that a judge will throw it out. So why subject the city to further embarrassment and just refuse to bring the proposal to the table, especially when there is zero ICE presence within Granville County? Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Suzanne Thomas. Okay, may I have your name and address, please? Your name and your address, please.
Susanna Thomas, Holly Creek, Creedmoor. Thank you for allowing me to speak. I'm not very boisterous.
All right.
I'm a heart-lung cancer patient. First and foremost, I would ask everybody, please keep Trooper Perry's family in your prayers. I personally knew him. I'm from Durham, but I'm a Granville citizen for some years now, and I know that that family needs a lot of prayer support. This is terrific, because the driver that he hit was a drunk driver. And I'm here tonight to speak on this. I first and foremost want to tell you that Mr. Antoine Downey was a friend of mine before any of this. I'm very let down. I love him in the Lord, and I will continue prayer support for him. But with the reports that I have seen that go back almost 23 years, as faith in a leader, I cannot trust that any longer. What I want for him is every success in this world. But I know the battles of alcoholism in my own home and what it's done to people in my family. And I know that he needs that time to not have this stress here. And so I ask Mayor Archer that you continue in his stead. I understand what the legislative law says, but we're not just dealing with law here, we're dealing with a man's wife that a lot of people love, that they care for. And I ask you to put that as your value, all of you, before any politics. I do want to say, Mr. Moss, I voted for him as well. I did. I'm not ashamed of the way that I vote, but sometimes every one of us wind up being let down by the folks that we voted for. I don't like grandstanding. I do love results. And I like the results to be what you've represented and put before the public to earn their trust and their faith that they would pass their trust in that vote for you. The ordinance that he's seeking, I understand on one hand because, as you can see, I have a mixed child here. When it comes to the Hispanic community, I have every compassion in the world. When it comes to the Black community, I have every compassion in the world. When it comes to an Asian, a Muslim family, I'm what God calls me to be. Him I have to please, but I'm going to say this. We do not need rhetoric and lying about ICE. They've not come and pressed up in our community like they have Charlotte, Hillsborough, Greensboro, Durham, and more.
Yes, ma'am, your time's expired, but come on, you can wrap it up, okay?
And I would just say, this needs to stop. We know we've got our constitutional rights. We got our First Amendment rights. Nobody can take those from us except the good Lord when he says your time's up here.
Yes, ma'am.
So we're not battling that. But we don't need political grandstanding
Yes, ma'am.
to tear our community apart.
Again, I'll let you go over your time,
One another.
but your time has expired. So thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm taking me one of these with me.
Mr. Ryan Brown?
Ryan Brown, 2009 Francis Court. I will try to stay within that 3 minutes. Thank you. Just this evening, I emailed all the members of the board and our chief of police about some flock safety and flock surveillance issues. I also put in a records request for the last 3 years' worth of audit data that the police have done. I believe it's important that the citizens are aware of what's going on in the city. I'm again appealing to you guys to cancel the contract with Flock either now or when it comes due in July. A couple of things, reasons why. Flock has been changing their contract terms significantly. It seems almost every other month. When I first realized this back in December, they were making the point that Flock would own all of the data that was sent through the cameras, that it would no longer be the city's data, which was a big selling point, saying that we could keep the data local. They changed their terms to make it so that you would no longer have access to that data, but then it seems like they've changed it back in the last 2 weeks. All of that leads to a company, or points to a company not being trustworthy. A couple other things, Flock has recently been caught changing cameras of customers in different city organizations without permission. And this was in directly against California state law. Because of that, Oxnard and some other cities have actually canceled their contracts with Flock. And it's not only about automatic license plate readers. The way the cameras currently work is if you stand in front of them or you drive in front of them, they trigger and take a picture. This works on both humans and cars. I can verify it. I'll send you guys a video of it along with the other stuff I sent earlier. Right now, they only track license plates, but their AI models are able to track dogs, cats, humans, bicycles, and cars, and other things. And instead of being automatically triggered by radar, they're now changing it to where all cameras can be remotely monitored and turned on at any time by anyone, it would seem, anyone working at the company or the local department, so that it's not just an automatic license plate reader, it's now a surveillance camera that you don't actually own the data for anymore. And there are also plenty of places that are getting rid of these cameras. Oxnard, California, like I said, Mountain View, Staunton, Virginia, Flagstaff, Arizona, Linwood, Washington, Denver, Colorado. These are all places just within the last week that have, or a week or two, that have canceled their contracts with Flock. So I think it's something we need to consider, especially before the contract goes back in July. Do we still want to have these cameras? Do we still want to give up all of the data that was supposedly being kept in the city? That was one of the big selling points for not giving our data to a nameless, faceless company. We are, if we're going to continue with these contracts, it seems. So I would hope the board would take a minute to, go back and look at the contracts, look at the data, check all the terms, and make sure that we're actually doing what's best for the citizens of citizens of Creedmoor, and be like some of the places in California that got rid of their cameras. Thank you, guys.
Thanks so much. All right, we're going to move on to 7B, Commissioner Gleason.
This is hard, really hard. On the evening of February 16th, Mayor Downey was charged with driving under the influence in multiple traffic offenses. Since the conduct of Mayor Downey is well beyond unbecoming and possibly dangerous to the city and the citizens of Creedmoor, I make a motion of no confidence in the mayor. This motion is made with a heavy heart and sadness, but since the previous conduct of the mayor, unknown to me, along with the individual commissioners which I contacted individually, and numerous constituents, I feel it necessary to have this vote of no confidence. After the vote, I would ask that the clerk compose a letter informing the mayor of this board action, and that we would request that his best interest for himself and the city would be to resign. So I make a motion that we have no confidence in the mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. Before we move further, let me make sure we understand what a vote of no confidence is. Kevin, you please correct me if I'm wrong. It expresses the board's lack of trust. It becomes part of the official record. It does not remove the mayor from office. It does not automatically change the mayor's legal powers. It does not recall the mayor. It does not cancel the mayor's elected term. It does signal the unity on this board. It obviously informs the public. It is a formal expression of disapproval. It is administrative, not punitive. A vote of no confidence is allowed under the general legislative authority of the governing body to adopt resolutions and motions covered under North Carolina General Statute 168-69. Am I correct in that? Open for discussion. Mr. Kaczynski.
Showing up at public events as a representative of the city, improperly dressed, incoherent, and late is not the way we want this city to be represented. It has never been represented that way before, to my knowledge. I want the voters to know that I had no prior knowledge of the legal violations of Mr. Downey, what he had been charged with prior to his election. And as a member of MED for 30-plus years, I do not condone drinking and driving by anyone. Mr. Downey has exhibited lack of respect for the law, the position that he was elected and entrusted with, and to life itself. And that is my opinion, so I am in agreement with Commissioner Gleason's motion.
Anyone else?
Yes, sir. I'll go ahead and make a statement as well.
Very Commissioner.
As Commissioner Gleason states, it hurts. Antoine's everybody has said it. He's a great person. He's a great guy. That's what we all have seen on the outside. For someone to have a misstep, it happens. Everybody's human in nature. everyone has a misstep, and seek to find a resolution to your misstep. Being involved in emergency services for over 25 years, especially in this community with the volunteer fire department, the countless numbers of vehicle accidents that we've responded to and worked alongside law enforcement to extricate victims involved in vehicle accidents, especially those that involve impaired drivers. It takes a toll on you personally when you see people in this community that you care a great deal about involved in those accidents. It hurts you personally when you see someone involved in these accidents that are the cause of some of these accidents. When we took our oath of office, in our oath of office, it says that we will maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of the state of North Carolina, not inconsistent therewith. In the position of mayor of this city, you are empowered to represent us in a positive light. You are empowered to represent the city of Creedmoor in swearing in new law enforcement officers who are taking the same oath of office to protect the citizens of this city. To stand up here in one breath and give an oath of office to a law enforcement officer and to make a decision to drive after consuming an impairing substance. Luckily, no one was injured or killed in this accident. However, we could have lost a father to children. We could have lost the mayor of this city at that time. There's always a victim, even if it's the person driving that's impaired. This one stings a lot. But I as well have to agree with my fellow commissioners that he needs to focus on his recovery. Antoine needs to focus on his family. And he needs to focus on repairing the trust to so many of us that have now feel broken. And with that, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I'm done.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. Commissioner Gleason has a motion on the floor for a vote of no confidence for Mayor Downey, and a letter be sent by the city clerk informing him of the same.
May I make an amendment to that motion?
Sure can.
Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Absolutely. Madam Clerk, roll call vote in order, alphabetical order of last name, please.
Commissioner Gleason.
Aye.
Commissioner Kuczynski.
Yes.
Commissioner Wagg.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Wilkins.
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion passes 4-0. Commissioner Gleason, I think you had a part B.
Again, I have a second motion, and again, hopefully this will not need to go very far, but when an elected official has been sworn in office and subsequently becomes unfit to hold office or engages in misconduct which could rise to the level of just cause for removal from his elected position, a legal question arises regarding the grounds and procedure through which a municipality such as the city of Creedmoor governing body may legally remove that official from office under North Carolina law. Since North Carolina has no statutory provision outlining the procedure for removal of an elected municipal officer for misconduct or lack of fitness to hold office subsequent to an election, the answer is found in common law. North Carolina common law addressing the removal of an elected municipal official through the process of an A motion. A motion is recognized as an inherent power of the governing body of a municipal corporation to remove an elected official for a reasonable and just cause due to misconduct or unfit to hold office. Taking the responsibility of my office and understanding that it's an obligation that we have that, again, I just want it clear. Everybody here, I knew Andre. My wife knew Andre better than I knew because they used to meet in Food Lion. And my wife is more devastated than I, believe me. And somebody before I mentioned or was talking about racial conduct, believe me, I got the most beautiful black grandchildren and great-grandchildren you ever want to meet, so there's no racial anything in this kid's body. And Antoine knows that. And I've spoken to Antoine since this incident. However, I want to make clear that an A motion recognizes the inherent power of a governing body of the municipal corporation to remove an elected official for a reasonable and just cause due to misconduct or unfitness to hold office. I therefore make a motion to ask our attorney to prepare the first draft of the rules and procedures and prepare an A motion, for consideration by this board. And that consideration and procedure should be brought back to our board on our next work session, which is the 17th, for review, and then we would decide if we go ahead and have him write the motion. So right now, I'm just asking a motion that we have our attorney prepare the rules and procedures for creating that A motion, and be brought back to us at our March 17th meeting.
Commissioner Wade, I know you want to weigh in, but before you do, I'm going to turn to the city attorney, if you can give us some little guidance.
Sure. Jeff, I think, as Commissioner Gleason pointed out, a motion is a common law procedure. It's available in North Carolina. It's very rare. It's been used a handful of times in the past 100 years. There is no statutory guidance, no statutory procedure set out in the North Carolina general statutes. What we have, the guidance we have on how this process works is provided through common law, through court-made law, and precedent. Certainly, the first step would be for this board to adopt a set of rules of procedure that kind of set out what the A motion process or proceeding that this board would undertake would look like. I think that that's a reasonable first step if this is an option that the board wants to consider. We would, I can draft a set of rules of procedure based on, like I said, there's only been a handful of these proceedings in the past 100 or so years, but we can draft a set of rules of procedures based on the few cases that there have been to carry out an A motion proceeding, and bring that back for your consideration and potentially your adoption if you choose at that time to proceed with this process. The next step then would be to put together a petition setting out the specific grounds for a motion or removal that this board would then need to consider and adopt. And then, of course, there would be much more process and procedure due. The baseline or the bottom line in all of this is that the board would be obligated to respect Mayor Downey's due process rights. And he would need to have every opportunity afforded to him to participate in the proceedings, to defend against the charges or the grounds for removal against him. But this is certainly a process that's available to the board if the board would like to pursue.
Commissioner White? Thank you.
I think an undertaking of the A motion by Commissioner Gleason,
Excuse me?
if we can get a consensus to have the attorney begin the informational process to bring to us for meeting for a vote. I personally would like the full board to be.
Oh, yeah, that's what it's gonna be. It's just prepare it and we will look at it next meeting and vote on it. It'll be a full board.
That sounds good. Okay, thank you.
Kevin, you okay having that ready for 17?
Sure.
Okay, so we'll move on. Consensus? Okay, move on. 8A Water Quality Policy, Commissioner Kuczynski.
Mayor Pro Tem, I would like to remove this from the agenda at this time since Commissioner Moss is not in attendance, and we can move it to the 3/17 meeting so he can do his presentation.
We have a consensus?
Yep.
Done. Okay. All right, moving on to new business, number 9A, financial update. Lee, that's you.
Good evening, Board. Tonight I bring before you the January financial update report. As always, as I present monthly, the same format, I want to start with the general fund revenue. If you look at the bottom, total revenues collected as of January 31st was at 41%. Two things to note that are our main sources of revenue. Property taxes are at 87% collected. And just to note that that is up to December's. So January's revenue collection does not represent January's collection, so it's a month behind due to the county's process in remitting those funds to us. Sales and use tax, which you all know are 2 months behind on how the state releases those funds to us at 44% collected. Then you see the other services, the recreational revenue sources broken out there. General fund expenditures, we're at 70% expensed as at the end of January. Stormwater fund revenues, we're at 117% collected, 119% of that being actual stormwater fees collected by the county and remitted to the city, as well as the stormwater interest earned on those funds that's sitting in the bank account. Stormwater fund expenditures, 67% expense out of the 3 departments made up in the stormwater fund. Power bill fund revenues, 100% collected of actual power bill revenue, which includes the 2 allocations from the state, as well as the power bill interest that's earned in our cash management trust account. And power bill fund expenditures at 20% expense. But as you all are aware, there are some projects that are to come in the next few months that will drive that percent up. So, if you have any questions, we are, just to let you know, as you're aware, kicked off the budget process, budget season. So department heads their due date is this Friday. So we will have the projected early on, FY27, estimated expenditures, to bring before you at the next work section, which begins our, budget season. So just want to let you know, update you all on that. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Hearing none, thank you, Lee.
Thank you all.
Thanks.
All right, we're gonna move down to 9B, Acting City Manager Willis.
Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners, several months ago, I had a meeting with members of the Granville County Sheriff's Office, Butler Public Safety, and the Oxford Police Department to discuss the possibility of establishing a Granville County Special Response Team. The proposed MOU that has been reviewed by our city attorney is included in your agenda packet. Essentially, creating this team would allow for members of our agency to jointly participate in high-risk search warrants and the apprehension of wanted persons living within Granville County. Adding departments throughout the county allows for more personnel to be available when needed. It also gives the head of each individual agency authority when the incident exists within their jurisdiction. If approved by the board, members of the Creedmoor Police Department will participate in a process and be selected to be on the team, as well as participate in joint trainings with members from other agencies. The agreement is still pending approval by the other agencies as well. I'd be happy to answer any questions. Just want to start the discussion and get some guidance from the board on this.
Any questions? Commissioner Kuczynski.
Kevin, have you looked at this document yet?
Yes.
So the document, first of all, is dated March 1st, which is 2 days ago. So that's one of the changes that I need is it an agreement or is it an MOU?
Well, I think we can style it however the board would like for it to be styled. I think that there's really an MOU is effectively an agreement.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you call it, it's not going to have the same effect practically speaking. What this is an agreement, it's a mutual aid agreement between the respective departments agreeing to coordinate and cooperate with respect to the provision of officers for special response duties in accordance with the terms set out in the MOU or the agreement or the contract, whatever we ultimately want to call it.
And since this still has to go to the other municipalities for their approval, there could be more edits in this. So I am asking that when the final draft is complete, it comes back to this board for final approval before any signatures. There's grammatical errors in this document too, and I just, paralegal, I would have bled all over this document.
As we've talked about before,
You didn't do it.
If you have comments, you are more than welcome to send them to me so we can make whatever revisions are necessary before documents come to this board for formal review at a meeting.
Yep, those are my comments.
Any other comments?
No, I would like to make a motion to approve the MOU for the police department, pending the final draft of the agreement.
You heard the motion by Commissioner Wade. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. All right, 9C, Acting City Manager again.
In your agenda packet, you'll find two attachments. The first being the SR agreement with Granville County Public Schools and the Creedmoor Police Department, which essentially states that the police department agrees to provide at least one SRO to each Granville County Public School located within our city limits at a cost not to exceed $75,000 per SRO. We currently have an SRO at Mount Energy School that is fully funded by the city. Two SROs at South Granville High School, in which the city receives $75,000 from the Granville County and/or Granville County Public School System for each position. The attachment is a breakdown of each SRO salary and benefits, which shows the total cost to the city for their positions. In addition, you will see a breakdown of how much time our SROs are expected to be at their respective schools for the 26-27 school year. Several years ago, our SROs were available to assist with patrol, investigations, or where they were needed while school was out for the summer. Each summer, our SROs are required to be at the school increasingly more because of summer school and other summer programs that the schools may have. A rough calculation shows that of the 52 weeks of the year, our SROs are at the school for approximately 48 weeks. That's 89% of the time. That leaves approximately 4 weeks to assist with other police department tasks. Currently, Granville Academy occupies the space at the former Creedmoor Elementary School without an assigned SRO. As a courtesy, we check in to assist with mandated drills and the day-to-day operations of the school. There is also a high probability that Phoenix Academy, which is the alternative school for Granville County, will also move onto this campus into the fall of this year. Phoenix Academy current SRO is a member of the Sheriff's Office. So as we soon begin to enter budget discussions, I would ask the board to look at renegotiating our SRO agreement to ask the school system to pay more for our SROs. The cost to the city has increased due to merit raises and longevity pay. Yesterday, I had a meeting with Dr. Winborn and other members of the school board or the school administrative staff to discuss my thoughts and inform them that I will be bringing this before the board at tonight's meeting for further guidance. I asked the board for feedback, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
All right, any discussion on this before I ask for a motion?
So he's going to bring more back to us, so I don't believe that a motion to approve at this time until we have the final draft. on this one, right?
That's correct, and the agreement you have is the old agreement.
It's an old-
Until we update the new agreement numbers in the new, and that's when the new agreement will take place, so that was the discussion yesterday.
And I spoke to the city attorney, I believe, last summer, about the agreement that was really vague, and I believe that it needed to be updated because of liability issues to the city, and that's what I'm concerned with. But I do know that I believe this $75,000 figure is the same figure we've had for over 5 years. Salaries have gone up, benefits have gone up, and the request to use our officers during the summer and off times is not factored into this. So I had asked the city attorney that, I had talked to the city manager at the time about possibly tying it down a little bit tighter so that the city of Creedmoor could cooperate with the county and the schools, but the liability issues would be straightforward and we would never have to worry about that. So I thank you for your meeting with them, and thank you, Kevin, for all the work you've put in on this, and I hope we can come to a reasonable agreement with this. I look forward to it.
When do you want to bring it back?
I don't know, you tell us.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of dependent upon what the board wants to put in the contract in terms of the amount of money we want to ask the school for.
Yeah, so I would say, it kind of as with everything, if there are specific things that commissioners would like to see or have questions about or feel should be revised or be different, in whatever, updated version of the SRO agreement we might put together, I would encourage you to contact Chief or interim city manager.
You could call them all of the above.
Or both of us, to let us know what changes you'd like to see made, so that we can, obviously this is something that's gonna have to go to the other parties to the agreement for their consideration and acceptance. So the sooner we can get whatever comments you might have, the sooner we can put together your revised draft that we can get out to the other parties so that we can accept whatever comments or feedback they might have and bring that to you if necessary.
And we kind of have to have a number before we get into the budget discussion. But if they're using us 89% of the time, that's a lot of time. I know that in the original agreement, there was a paragraph in here that I haven't seen yet, was that the SROs got an hour for lunch. But it didn't say if it was on campus or off campus. And if we're off campus and something happens, I want to make sure that it's outlined so that our liability doesn't come into question.
Well, you all might recall, the SRO agreement issue has been a long-standing one. There was an initial agreement several years ago. There have been several amendments to the agreement. And the initial agreement, I don't know this, but I suspect that the initial agreement was not intended to be a long-term agreement. It was intended to be kind of a single-year stopgap agreement. Rather than prepare a new, longer-term kind of master agreement, there were amendments made to it piecemeal over time. So we've got a situation where there are kind of several different agreements that all say slightly different things and maybe contradict each other a little bit. So I think that probably, a good place to start here might be drafting a new whole cloth master agreement that addresses kind of all of those outstanding issues with the various different iterations of agreements that have been approved over time.
So, say one of us has questions or has suggestions about this. To avoid public meeting law violations, do we send it to you two and not I want all the board members to be on board with the same thing, but I don't want to violate any rules. So if I send it to you guys and you send it out, it's okay, but is that what you want us to do?
Certainly. So what I would suggest is that all of the city commissioners, and frankly, I guess chief, in your chief capacity, let me know, and obviously copy Chief Wheelos on this as well, but let us know what comments you might have kind of on the broader SRO, issue. Then I can work on putting together a revised agreement. Chief and I will kind of work through that and we'll make sure it's something that he feels is workable, and frankly, that he feels is something that will be acceptable to the other jurisdictions as well. Then we can, send out our draft to the other jurisdictions for their comments, once we feel that we've got, once we feel like we've got an agreement in principle, or that, any remaining issues will be easily ironed out, we can bring that back to this board for kind of final guidance and direction. What I would hate to do is for us to put together an agreement and then bring it to you all for approval, then for us to send it out to the other jurisdictions just for them to say, no, we need to rework the entire thing. So, to land the plane, I guess, what I would suggest is you all send your comments to Chief Wheels and myself. We can put together kind of an internal City of Creedmoor proposed draft. We'll send it out to the other jurisdictions for their informal review. Then, once we feel like there's something that everybody is generally in agreement with, or at least we understand where the points of disagreement are, we can bring it back to this board for your comment and then go from there. I'm concerned that any other approach is going to drag this out, past budget season, then we're going to get stuck in the same situation we've been in for the last 5 years, where we have to approve some sort of interim stopgap agreement that gets us nowhere, and then we're back in the same situation next year and the following year.
Kevin, these agreements are only between the county and one municipality. Every municipality has their own separate agreement. So I don't want to send it to the other municipalities.
I agree.
Because they're...
Parties to the agreement between the county, and there have been,
This agreement is one between Creedmoor and them.
But, no, there have been discussions over there. You and I have had this discussion on several occasions about potentially including the school board in that discussion as well, since they are potentially an interested party in ensuring that there's adequate coverage, at school facilities. So again, per our discussion a year or so ago, this might be an opportunity for us to present a master agreement between the city, the county, and the school board that make sure that all of the local jurisdictions, and when I say local jurisdictions, I mean the city of Creedmoor, the county, and the school board.
Okay, I thought you meant Butner and Oxford, I'm sorry.
No.
And I'm like, no, we're not sending it to them. Okay, all right, I misunderstood. Thank you.
Make sure that all those entities' interests are protected, and that we have an agreement that all three jurisdictions feel is workable. And if the school board doesn't want to be involved, that's fine. We can go back to this, two-party, situation with the county. But I think there's probably, some interest in having a larger agreement.
Okay, good. All right, so the actual funding numbers in here could be off somewhat.
From what they already
From what they are right now.
Yeah.
Yes, and from the meeting yesterday, I think they are aware of the funding discrepancies, and the feeling that I got is they're not opposed to increasing the amount of money they give to the city.
So we don't need to approve this tonight, it's gotta be approved before the budget.
Right.
Correct, so, okay. So move that we just move on to the next item of business and send our request to our attorney.
Yeah.
We need a motion or just consensus good enough?
There's the consensus I'm seeing is that we move forward as proposed, where you all will send your comments to Chief Willis and I, we'll hammer something out and hopefully get the ball rolling in some time for this to be ironed out before budget.
Good, all right, very good. And moving on to discussion items 10A, again, acting city manager.
I'm sorry, I feel like I'm holding everything from going on.
I'd love to hear you speak.
Initiated a discussion on the future of the Creedmoor Police Department's Telecommunications Center. At the conclusion of this presentation, I asked the board's guidance and recommendation on moving forward with a plan. With the recent telecommunicator vacancy, and the possibility of upcoming retirements, City Manager Mike Turner and I entered into discussions with County Manager Drew Cummings and Granville County Emergency Communications Director Stacy Hicks about taking over the Police Department's Communications Center. First, I would like to make it clear that it is not my intention to eliminate any employees from the police department. The idea of this change is based on the financial benefit of the city, along with the difficulty in maintaining adequate personnel to operate our communication center. Currently, we have 3 full-time telecommunicators, that work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. One of the 3, sometimes picks up the vacant shift. If not, we try to arrange for one of our police officers to cover the console, or we ask the county, to cover the console as they are, this evening. Covering the vacant shift along with maintaining coverage during vacations and sick time presents several challenges for me as a chief. First, it creates burnout among staff. Second, oftentimes it takes police officers from their regularly assigned duties and puts them behind on their cases or their jobs. Finally, the communication center puts a strain on the department's annual overtime budget because we are having to pay employees or officers to fill in when we are short. Based on the city's call volume, Director Stacey Hicks stated it will cost the city approximately $150,000 to take over the police department's communication center. While we have not discussed every detail of the agreement, this is the time to bring it to the board. While one telecommunicator's salary and benefits range anywhere from $90,000 to $100,000, and the other savings will come from overtime, Southern software, CAD cost, officers' time when we're required to fill in. While it's difficult to put an exact number on the total that it would save the city, I can assure you that in the future, it will be a savings to the city after retirements. The director also stated that the change would not immediately cause for an increase in staff at the county level, and they could absorb our call volume without issue. We would also update our interlocal agreement that would accommodate any changes as well. Initially, I would repurpose our current telecommunicators to office staff. For example, one could work the front desk and records, one could take over evidence and assist with programs, and the other could be an executive assistant to the command staff. Again, these are all preliminary ideas based on the direction of the board. The long-term goal will be to keep at least 2 civilian positions after current telecommunicators decide to retire, which will provide additional savings for the city in terms of salaries and benefits. I ask the boards for feedback and recommendations on our communication center moving forward. And also, before I finish, Director Stacey Hicks is here, so just want to tell her thank you for covering for us when we're short. And I mean, she's always been great and great to work with and a great partner for us. So.
This time we'll open up for discussion. There is no motion. Lord, any discussion?
And I've expressed this before. It's nice to know that there's somebody in our police station 24 hours a day. We're building a new police station, and what time does the doors close at 8 o'clock at night or 6:30 in the afternoon, and there's nobody there till 8 a.m. the next morning. I understand that the county provides this and we pay for it and we should use it. Like I said, and I don't oppose it, but like I said, I do feel bad that we're not gonna have, people there 24/7. That's all.
Anyone else?
Yeah.
Commissioner Gasiewski.
So Chief, there will still be somebody available at the front window if anybody comes in the middle of the night, correct? If somebody needs help?
No, what it would do would be, the current office or the current telecommunicators as they transition to office staff, they traditionally will work a normal 8 to 5 schedule. And then after that, they would call the county to dispatch or whatever our officers there. But our officers, of course, would still be in the city. They're just dispatched. No one would be in the building after 5 p.m., which is not uncommon. It's not unheard of for departments our size. Just around for it to be that way. I think the general consensus talking to people who've been around for a while and the former chief, the previous chief, when they had the magistrate's office here, it was kind of a requirement to have the building open. But I can tell you in the 3 years that I've been here, I can only think of 1, maybe 2 occasions where somebody came to the police department after hours, and that was on a Saturday after an incident at Harris Park. So I think, while yes, I do think it is a possibility for someone to come to the police department after hours. I just think that is a rare occasion for somebody to do that. They will always have a number or something they can call to get in contact with one of our officers if we need it, and the county already has the ability to dispatch on our channel. So
So will there be any design changes to the new police department?
No, ma'am. We will still use the front as for office staff in the front, and there will be no design changes.
Like a receptionist?
Like a reception, yes.
Okay,
Kinda like
thanks.
that, yeah.
Any other discussion?
Will there be any way that there can be some kind of device on the building, that somebody goes up to the building, they can hit a button and communicate with somebody? I mean, it may,
I'll let Stacy.
Probably can put a
Stacy, come on up.
call box at the end.
Just for the record, give your name and address, please.
Stacy Hicks, and it's 3100 Ingebright Trail, Oxford. So currently, we do a similar situation with Oxford PD. During the daytime, they have a receptionist or records clerk that's there Monday through Friday, and even sometimes during the week, Monday through Friday, we still get their calls. So, and we do the same thing with the sheriff's office up front. At nighttime after 5 o'clock, they have nobody at their front desk. The office is closed. Outside of our building, at the sheriff's office, there's a box there, a button, they can call down to us. The police department has a phone outside that says in case of emergency or if you need help, you pick up the phone and it rings directly down to our administrative line so that somebody's always there to answer it.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Other discussion, we'll move on. Number 10B. Mayor Downey's excused absence. Commissioner Kuczynski. Oh, I'm sorry, Robert, excuse me. Commissioner Way.
It was placed on the agenda to have his absence excused for the next 3 meetings. He notified the city clerk. He did not reach out to the board members to ask for his absence to be excused. So that's usually our common practice, if we ask each other to be excused from the meeting, and I haven't heard from Mayor Downey since it's happened.
Any other discussions?
I kind of agree with Commissioner Way. Mayor Downey should have reached out to the board to ask to be excused, but his email was directed to the clerk and requested to be excused. And I've heard an awful lot of rumors all over Creedmoor about this before we finally got actual word, which came out in the agenda on the sunshine list, and somebody said, there's an email in here. I hadn't seen it yet. I don't know why, but I hadn't seen it yet. So, because it wasn't addressed to me, it was addressed to the clerk. And so, I agree, this is just another example of the notice of no confidence. Motion for no confidence.
Well, let me say this, now that we are aware of it, what is the board's pleasure?
You can call for a vote. We can call for a roll call vote if you want to excuse them.
Yeah.
I make a motion that we have a roll call vote to excuse Mayor Downey.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor, Madam City Clerk, alphabetical order of last name. Throwing you off.
I got it. Commissioner Gleason.
aye.
Commissioner Kuczynski.
No.
Commissioner Way.
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Wilkins.
Yes,
Thank you. It's
We have a
a tie.
we have a tie.
Evan.
Evan?
So the motion failed, we not adopted by majority vote of the quorum present.
Can we get Kevin to expand on, there's no penalty for this,
That's right.
according to our rules?
So that's correct. Neither under North Carolina law nor any locally adopted rules is there any penalty for an elected official missing a meeting.
Formality.
Right. So the fact that the board's regular practice is to request excusal and then to have the board vote to approve an excused absence, really is a kind of a formulaic or procedural matter that has no real practical or legal effect, aside from the fact that it is your general practice So the failure of that motion, and the fact that, Mayor Downey's expected absences are not formally excused by the board does not have any legal or practical effect on his qualifications for office.
Which is kind of why I threw it back out there, because it's kind of like beating a dead horse at this point. Doesn't really matter.
When I first got on this board in 2020, my husband had emergency heart surgery, and we were getting ready to do the strategic planning session. And I ran into the hallway and talked to Karina and Mayor Wheeler at the time, and they told me if my absence wasn't excused, my vote would count as a yes. That was a policy.
No, so I think that's a common misconception. So what the law says is if a commissioner is present at a meeting and asks to, and leaves, for example, runs to the restroom or whatever, without being excused, and then a motion and a vote is held in your absence, and you've not been formally excused from that vote, there's kind of an automatic yes rule. But that's different from a commissioner who is not present for the meeting at all. If you're not physically, I say physically, and there's rules about being present by other meetings.
Right.
If you're not present for the meeting, there's no automatic yes vote under North Carolina.
And he doesn't vote anyway, so, okay.
We good?
Yep.
All right. Moving on to Tennessee, Commissioner Kuczynski, minutes.
So, I asked to have these pulled out of the consent agenda because I want to review the minutes from our retreat for, one item, and Barbara sent them to me this afternoon, and I just haven't had a chance to review them, but I have a question about the, water quality policy discussion that we had, and I would just like to review that before we vote on those minutes. I don't want.
Oh, you need to see.
I've read that, I want to hear it. I want to hear what I thought I heard and to make sure that I understand it correctly before I approve these minutes, because I'm kind of thinking that either, I think I'm mistaken and there's not a mistake, but I want the minutes to be right.
Okay. Well, can we approve the other three sets?
Oh, absolutely.
Matter of.
Motion to approve the other 3 sets of minutes.
1,
We did that.
2,
Oh, we got consent agenda.
Oh, well, okay, that's fair. Yep.
Mr.
Sure.
Mayor Pro Tem, sir, if we can move the February 7th retreat minutes to the March 17th meeting for approval.
Sounds good to me.
yes, it will be. Is
Consensus? Okay.
that a motion?
I don't think
Consensus is good.
we have consensus. Minutes still need to be approved.
I promise I'll be ready by then.
All right, moving on to 11A, City Manager's Report. Again, Acting City Manager Willis.
Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners, the water quality surveys were mailed out Wednesday, February 11th, 2026. As of today, we have received 151 of the 1,713 surveys that were originally mailed. Thank you again to all the city members, or all the members of city staff who helped get the letters ready to be mailed. Sarah is working daily to compile the information to present to the board after the May 11th deadline. Thank you to the city clerk for editing and getting the spring newsletter out to the printer this week. Hopefully it'll be mailed maybe tomorrow or so. On February 17th, members of the board, former elected officials, city staff, representatives from Little Architect and MLB Construction participated in a groundbreaking ceremony at the new police department construction site. While construction is underway on the new police department, construction has been slowed due to winter weather. In addition, utility lines from Frontier and Spectrum must be relocated underground so that proper storm drainage can be constructed. We are hopeful this will be completed in the upcoming days so that it does not further the construction. Thank you to Commissioner Way, Finance Director Lee Faines, Administrative Service Commander Lockley, city staff, and other community members for assisting with interviews for the Police Department accreditation, which will hopefully be approved by the Commission in May of this year. Mayor Pro Tem, that concludes my comments to the board.
Thank you. All All right, Commissioner Kuczynski or Commissioner Way, Sequasa report?
So, Friday, Seguasa had their first of the two, finance committee meetings, and we went over the expected, expenses for the next year and the loans that are outstanding and the expenses that are coming up. We were informed that tanks number 1 and 2 are complete with the filter media. Tank 3 is in process. And because the repairs have been so minimal, we believe that 4 and 5 can be done at the same time and expect them to be done by April. The debt service we have right now is a total of $2 million a year in payments. Once we put the PFAS in there with the $26 million expended cost, there is a $8 million addition to do the Northern Interceptor, and there is one more project that we have. Our debt will go up to, in the next 2 or 3 years, our debt will go up to over $5 million. There was a citizen in the audience who expressed to us that she's well aware that rates will go up because of PFAS, and there's nothing we can do about it. And we all made a statement, the 3 finance committee members, we decided that we were going to bring something to the board to help delay that rate increase as much as we possibly can. And I think it's coming to our board in the April meeting. We're not going to be ready to do it in March because we have another finance committee meeting to have before then. The executive director at that meeting did allude to us that he had some wonderful news from the state, but he wasn't ready to expand on that yet because it wasn't final. And I did a little digging and found out that Governor Stein had a meeting with the State Water Infrastructure Authority. And the State Water Infrastructure Authority is the people that give out grants and loans to all water infrastructure companies across the state. We have applied for all the money we need in grants. We have been tentatively told that we're getting some of it, but we don't know what portion of it is grants, what portion of it will be loans. And so until we get a letter of intent telling us it may be $7 million, it may be $10 million, but we're not sure yet, and it might be loans or it might be grants. And they have to decide how much of each one we get. I know I looked at the chart. Burlington has asked for $13 million for PFAS, and they got 5. And that's not determined whether it's loans or grants yet, but they will only possibly get awarded 5. We know we need $26 million for PFAS. So I'm not looking for a windfall, but anything that will offset a rate increase is good for our ratepayers. And since we don't have to have the project completed today, it buys us a little bit more time to apply for more grants from the IATA and from other sources. Everywhere we can go, our engineers are applying for all of it. So we are trying to avoid a massive rate increase. So you're all welcome to come to the next Finance Committee meeting. It's Friday the 13th of this month. It's at the Butner Town Hall, and if you want to hear it firsthand, anybody's welcome. It's open to the public. All I got.
Commissioner, anything for Sequasa?
Over all, sir.
All right.
They are continuing to work through the water filter media replacements, and so far we are hearing that the quality of water going into the water treatment plant through the media replacement has increased drastically with the filtration.
It's encouraging, okay. Moving on to commissioner reports, Commissioner Gleason.
I attended a virtual COG meeting. I attended a county meeting last night where they honored, winners of the Martin Luther King essay contest because there were no breakfasts held because of the storms. All the winners were announced at the county meeting, and the two winners, both gave their presentations. And the county also honored Reverend Gooch and Mr. McGee with life memberships to the Granville County HRC. They've both been members for over 20 years. That's all I have.
All right, Commissioner Way.
Attended the SWASA meeting, went to the County Commissioner Board of Retreat meeting. As Chief of Police / Interim City Manager stated, I attended last week and spoke with the accreditation representatives for the state of North Carolina for the police department's accreditation process. I think that's it.
Thank you. Commissioner Kaczynski.
So, in the last month, I have attended the joint meeting of the school board and the county. And it was very informative, school board presenting their budget and showing how much money they have saved with the closure of the school buildings. And hopefully they can have enough money to do the repairs that are needed in the remaining buildings. The weight room at South Granville is complete. They are having a contest to name the room. They may have completed that by now, I'm not sure. And J.F. Webb's weight room will be done next. And hopefully the track at South Granville, which is in dire need of repair for 20 years now, it will be next on the projects. I attended the county retreat the first night, and the second day, I spent the whole day with Commissioner Way and making notes and listening to their department heads and their reports. Finance committee meeting with Sigwasa, a Campo meeting in Oxford with Mr. Frangos and Commissioner Moss, which was very informative, and a litter campaign meeting. And the one thing that I have spoken to Commissioner Mr. Frank Sussman about is Frank is in charge of the litter campaign project. And I drove down North Side Road on Saturday going to Durham. And now that the grass was wet from all the rain and it was down, all the trash and the cans and the bags of garbage and the hot water tanks that are all along North Side Road, which is a DOT road, and it's DOT's responsibility, but we've got a litter campaign. So I know I've been accused of being a transplant, and I'm going to let my transplant show right about now. Pennsylvania, Connecticut, New Jersey, New York, we all have 5-cent refunds on cans and bottles up there. And there is trash on the side of the roads, Ed, we know, but not as much as it could be because people go along picking up the cans and the bottles, getting those 5 cents. And I have asked him that if he gets elected to the House, could we possibly get the legislature to approve that for North Carolina? It would try to help our litter situation. It would help a lot of people. And I can't stand seeing the litter on the sidewalk. Now, the hot water tank, I don't know what we can do with that. I think that'd be more than 5 cents if somebody turned it in. But it's an idea that I have, and I'm hoping that if whoever the next House of Representatives or Senator is, that we can push it through to them with a petition maybe and get them to try and do this for us. It'll be cumbersome for a lot of people, but you don't have to do it. You can do it if you want to. So that's just one of my committee ideas, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you. I'll give my remarks now. On Saturday, February 7th, I attended the annual Creedmoor Strategic Planning Retreat. I want to thank Sequasa Executive Director Scott Schroeder, then Sequasa Chair Jimmy Gooch, Granville County Chair Zelotes J., the other county commissioners in attendance, along with our school superintendent, Dr. Stan Winbush, and school board member Danielle Hayes for being there. Of course, I thank our city manager, Mike Turner, our entire city staff for the dedicated preparation and presentation during that day. On Tuesday, February 10th, I attended the monthly Sequasa meeting. I would also like to pause to thank Commissioner Wade, Commissioner Kaczynski for representing the city of Creedmoor at the annual county retreat on Monday, February 16th. We appreciate both your service and dedication. Thank you both. I also want to ask our community to keep this board and our community at large in your prayers as we navigate difficult decisions and work through recent events. Although I may not support certain actions, God's word reminds us in Galatians 6:1 when it says, brothers and sisters, if someone is caught in a sin, you who live by the Spirit should restore that person gently. To be clear, there are no excuses for doing wrong. Wrong is wrong, whether it's whispered in the dark or shouted in the daylight. No hardship, no anger, no disappointment can make injustice right. And we must be honest enough to say so. A broken rule does not become righteous just because we understand the pain behind it. But even as we speak truth about wrongdoing, we must not let our hearts grow hard. A world without compassion becomes a colder place than a winter wind. We cannot answer hurt with hatred or failure with indifference. The easy road is to condemn and walk away. The better road is to hold people accountable while still believing they can rise. Somewhere inside every person lives a better voice. That quiet call to do right, to stand upright, and to walk in dignity. We must search for the better angels among us, not the worst fears within us. Compassion is not weakness, and empathy is not surrender. They are the strength that keeps justice from turning into cruelty and keeps correction from becoming rejection. The future belongs to those who choose the higher road, who say no to wrongdoing, but yes to becoming better. We are not only what we have done, we are also what we still have the courage to become. In closing, let me assure our community that the city remains in steady and capable hands. Even during times of challenge or uncertainty, our commitment to this community does not waver. Our resolve is undaunted, and we will continue to serve with steady judgment, clear focus, and unwavering leadership. The work of the city will continue with purpose and responsibility, and we remain fully committed to protecting the stability, progress, and well-being of the community we are all honored to serve. That concludes my remarks. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to go into closed session.
First motion, go into closed session, then adjourn. Entertain a motion to go into closed session. I had them backwards. Closed session.
Aye.
Aye. Motion to adjourn?
Motion to go to closed session.
Yep.
Adjourn to go into closed session.
All right, so moved.
We're going to closed session.
Sorry about that. I had it backwards.
You just want to go home.
I do.